माननीय क्षेत्र संघचालक जी, माननीय प्रांत संघचालक जी, माननीय नगर संघचालक जी, all the dignitaries, brothers and sisters. The Sangha work has completed its 100 years. And it was thought that there should be an extensive outreach. Because though Sangha name, RSS, is now famous world over, but what work exactly Sangha is doing is not much clear. Whatever people talk about Sangha, for or against, is not much based on facts. The perceptions are created, and people see Sangha through those perceptions. Or even if they want to seek some information, they seek it from secondary sources. If they want to know something about Sangha, they will go to Wikipedia. Now, all information in Wikipedia is not correct. So, it is necessary that people should know Sangha authentically and factually. In 2018, in New Delhi, we had similar type of gathering. And for 2 days, I had to tell them about Sangha. Had to means because I am Sarsangha Chalak, the task was given to me. And then there were question answers. The purpose was the same, to give facts. Whatever people think about Sangha should be based on facts and not narratives. They may think in favor or against. It doesn't matter. What matters is, whatever they are thinking, it should be based upon facts. And so, to 1 hour and 10 minutes lectures, I tried to narrate every fact that was relevant and related to Sangha. And then there were question answers. When this 100 years programs came, they again told me, you have to go now to 4 places and some other places wherein you have to tell the same thing. But in 4 places there will be 2 lectures and question and answers. In other places there will be only 1 lecture and 1 question and answer session. So what I spoke in 2 lectures, I have to condense it now in 1 lecture, and because this is 100th year, it is proper if I mention something about what we think about our future plan. So it will be a bit nutshell thing. You have to listen carefully and understand. Not much time for detailed explanation. First thing we have to understand about Sangha is that Sangha is not a product of any reaction, any opposition, or any competition. Sangha is not there to compete for influence with others. as some people think, it is not a reaction to British rule or Muslim aggressiveness. Sangha is concerned with betterment of Bharat. In our prarthana, we start with Namaskar to Bharat Mata, Namaste Sada Vatsale Matrubhume, Tvaya Hindu Bhume Sukham Varjito. God becomes second. Prabho Shaktaman Hindura Atranga Bhuta, Ime Sadharan Tvam Namamo Vayam comes later. And we end the same prarthana with Bharat Mata Ki Jai. That is the sole purpose. With that purpose in mind, Sangha was started. Now, Sangha is not the only one who thinks like this. We can say that every great man of Bharat, every ideological stream of Bharat was started with the same purpose. We can safely say that. Except some who do not believe in countries, nations, etc., etc. Dr. Hedgewar, the founder of Sangha, he was also, we call him born patriot. He lost his father and mother on the same day when he was 11 years old. They were serving the plague patients and they contracted plague, died on the same day. So he had to grow in poverty. But in those hard days also, two things he maintained. Coming in first 10 of his class and doing every work that was aimed at emancipation of Bharat, including freedom movement. He organized Vande Mataram movement in Nagpur schools when he was studying in 10th standard. The school inspector used to go in each class and was welcomed everywhere with Vande Mataram. So, naturally, the British government banned all schools. Schools were closed. To who were the perpetrators of this so-called crime. But they could not be successful. Nobody could tell them the information. They could not find out who was the mover and shaker of this movement. So after 4 months, there was a compromise. Nominal apology. Each boy has to come to school and on the gate the headmaster will stand and ask them, so you have done wrong. No? He should just nod, oh, yes, I have done wrong. He need not utter the words. With this nominal apology, school will start. But there were two students. One of them was Dr. Hedgewar, who said, we don't offer this apology also. To call our mother, our motherland, mother, and to bow at her feet is our birthright. Why should we be apologetic for that? And therefore those two were rusticated. So he went to a national school. National schools were started at that time with such youth who, due to their activism in freedom movement, were punished like this. That school was also closed by British. So he had appeared privately and came in first class. So leaders in Nagpur, they saw the spark in this boy and then they arranged for him to go to Kolkata for medical training. On the pretext of taking medical training, he was to contact the Anushilan Samiti, which was the coordination committee of all revolutionaries, and start that work in the Western Bharat. So Dr. Hedgewar went there and he did too well in his studies and in the real purpose also. He established the movement, revolutionary movement, in the area from Rajasthan to Telangana. To bring the revolutionaries, settle them in various places, give them arms, planning the missions, all these things as an organizer he did. But then that movement failed due to some intrinsic defects. So he participated in Congress movement. In Kolkata, when he passed the medical in first class, his principal called him and told him, there is a job ready for you in Burma, 3,000 rupees a month salary in those days. Dr. Edgar answered, I don't want to. Then what will you make of your family? He said, I don't raise a family, I don't want to. I have taken oath at the feet of Kali Mata. In this birth, I will make effort only for my country. My own career, etc. are the topics for next birth. And he came back. His uncle asked him about marriage. He told him same thing. I will remain brahmachari and do something for my country. This is the life purpose of this birth. And therefore in 2021 he participated in the Asahyog non-cooperation movement. And he went from village to village, gave lectures, and then he was arrested and tried. His charge was of sedition. And it was usual that the people who got arrested in that movement, and without giving any defense, they just accepted the punishment. But Dr. Edgar said, I will give my defense in the court because I will get one more chance to speak. In those days, the media was also allowed in courts. So again I will give one lecture, which will go all round. So I will get one more chance for propaganda. And he gave his speech of defense, which started with his query, which is the rule of law? What law permits British to come from England and rule Bharat? There is no such law. Therefore, British rule is illegal. Therefore, this court is illegal. And Mr. Justice, you are illegal. I don't agree with your sovereignty. You have no right to try me. And I did not commit any crime. To be free is a fundamental right of every human being. I told my countrymen to be free. And I told them how to be free. So the magistrate sentenced him to 1 year rigorous imprisonment with the remark that his speech of defense is more seditious than the speeches for which he was tried. Such sort of person he was. So he worked in politics also, Congress movement, worked for the liberation of our country. He was a revolutionary also. He worked in social reforms also. There were 4 streams at that time. After 1857, people started thinking, how come we got defeated in that war? We were in our own country. We are a vast majority. The foreign rulers were a handful in number. Still they defeated us. We had our kings, we had our armies. We fought valiantly. So out of those thinking, these 4 ways emerged. Some people said, okay, this time we lost, we'll try again. With armed revolt, we'll throw away British. So that stream continued till 1945, when Subhash Babu probably died in that fire accident. And after that, we got freedom. So naturally, that stream was not required. Swatantriya Savarkar he, he had a ceremony to officially close his Abhinav Bharat. Then some people thought, no, we are not politically aware. That is why we lost. Only soldiers fought, only kings fought. But rest of the society was passive. Though it was for the freedom, it was not active. Because they were politically, they could not understand the importance of being active. So that political awareness, to create that, they used Congress. Congress was formed by Sir A.O. Hume after 57 as a safety valve. But our leaders took hold of it and used it as a potent weapon for freedom. And it created that awareness. A common man can come. He came common man on streets for freedom. Whatever he was doing it for freedom. Charkha chalana, to wheel that spinning wheel, that was tradition. It was not new. But this time, the wheels were spinned to get the Swaraj. That type of Jagruti was there. And therefore we got the freedom. But after that, this awareness did not continue. Because awareness was there to drive away British. And now British disappeared suddenly. So there is nobody to oppose. So everything deteriorated into present condition of politics. There were reformers. They said our society lacks many things. We are trapped in superstitions. We are away from modern knowledge, scientific knowledge. We are riddled with so many kinds of divisions: caste, creed, language, province. So we have to create that reform so that we can become one. We can stand face to face with British. First we have to reform this society. But that reform movement became an island. They wanted to reform the society. But for example, for caste eradication, in a village nearby Varda, near Nagpur, there were 32 castes living. A Mahatma came there and tried to remove caste differences. Some people obeyed him, followed him. Some people did not. So today, there are 33 castes in that village. 32 original castes and one caste who doesn't believe in caste. That became separate caste. The reforms became islands. And fourth was go back to your basics. Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Vivekananda. Go back to your basics, realize who you are, serve your society. That still continues, and that is a permanent necessity. But it remained away from the physical going ups of the country, physical affairs of the country, economy, politics, etc., etc. Dr. Hedgewar participated in all these four activities. And during this period of participation, he had interactions with Lokmanya Tilak, Mahatma Gandhi ji, Subhash Babu, Madan Mohan Malviya ji. Being a revolutionary, he had interactions with Bhagat Singh, Rajguru. And he came to know one thing, and he was also thinking on the same lines after so much experience and so much adhyayan, research, that there is something lacking in our own society that makes us easy prey for the world. British were not the first aggressors. Shaka, Huna, Kushana, Yavana, etc., etc. Each time someone came from so many miles. In all matters inferior than us, including numbers. And just won us over, won our country, made us slave. And we repelled one, another came. This is going to happen again and again. What is the solution? Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, in his speech, when he awarded Constitution, the Constitution was accepted. He presented the Constitution. He delivered two speeches. In one he said this: we are here, today we are free. But it has been the history of our country that nobody in the world conquered us because they were strong, stronger than us. Our divisions make them victors. And I am afraid, he said, that in this August Assembly, there are so many of us in different ideological camps. We are sitting here and opposing each other. It's okay. That is the parliamentary system. But liberty and equality cannot be achieved together. That is the experience of the world. I have taken those three words from the philosophy of Tathagat Buddha. So if you try to bring liberty, equality is hampered. And if you try to make everyone equal, then liberty has to be restricted. If you want both, you have to have fraternity. That is Bandhubhav. And that Bandhubhav is the Dharma. So if you don't pay attention to this Bandhubhav, I am afraid these constitutions cannot protect you. I am afraid that history will repeat. That is what he said. It is on record. So there is something, and everybody feels that something should be corrected, then only our movements, our ways, our recipes of different treatments, that will be fruitful. The issues will not crop up again. Someone should do it because we are busy. We have taken up one issue. We have poured all our strength for that issue. Our life we have dedicated for the resolution. It will happen. But the same issue should not come again. For that this is necessary, someone must do it. You can see it, Hind Swaraj, Gandhiji has mentioned it. Rabindranath Tagore has mentioned it. Subhash Babu, everybody has expressed this in their works also. So Dr. Edgar said, if all those issues are taken up by such great personalities, and this one thing which fulfills them all is lying unattended, then I will devote myself to that. And then he experimented for 8 to 10 years. And then declared the Sangha started. What I mean is, Sangha has come to fulfill, not to destroy. That is the first thing we have to understand. So, Dr. Ji experimented. First thing he realized, some years back I was in Chennai and I heard Mr. Gurumurthy's speech. The topic was systems and individuals. So whether systems corrupt the individuals or corrupted individuals take the systems in their hand and use them as according to their own sweet will. That was the topic. And he said, both way it can happen. Dr. Edgar also must have realized this. So how to see that system cannot corrupt the individual or corrupted individuals cannot get the chance to corrupt the individual? The key is the society. the atmosphere in the society, the general conduct of the society, if it is of selflessness, if it is of Deshabhakti, then these things cannot happen. Systems cannot corrupt individuals. If systems are corrupt, they will be changed by the society. If one individual fights against systems, he may lose. But if society stands up, then it will happen only the way society wants it to happen. And if social atmosphere is like that, tendency towards corruption of individuals is minimized. So first thing, he decided that to change the fate of our country, leaders, parties, ideologies, everything can be helpful, but can be only helpful. It cannot cause the change. To cause the change, society has to change. Society has to be organized. Society has to have unity as well as quality. So next logical question, how to unite this society? We have so many languages, so many styles of living, so many provinces. Mind-boggling diversity is the first obvious specialty of our country. Is there any basis of our unity? If we are separate, there is no point in uniting us. What nature has created, we have to accept. So is there any basis? Yes, there is one such basis. In spite of all these diversities, we have been living in this land since eons as a nation. We are a nation. Actually, I should not utter that word nation, because nation is a Western concept wherein state is the precondition for existence of nation. Our Rashtra is different. It is not dependent of any state. When there were so many kings in Bharatvarsha and so many systems of governance, Samrajyam, Bhaujyam, Swarajyam, Vairajyam, Paramashtam, etc., etc. We were one nation. When we had Chakravarti Samrats, we were one nation. We were enslaved and foreigners, they ruled and trodden on us, trampled us, but we were a nation. We got independence. We are that same nation today. Ours is not the nationhood instilled in us on the basis of state by British. We are Sanatan Rashtra. The very identity of our Rashtra, it encompasses all these diversities, accepts them, respects them, and still makes them one. Without uniformity, we can achieve in this country. We have learned this skill from our ancestors, from our communities. World says unity in diversity. We say diversities of unity. We don't have to seek some oneness in different kinds. The different kinds have arisen from the same substratum. And that is why we celebrate them as the Shrungar of unity. That is our nation. That is our identity. Identity of everybody, in spite of his language, his worship, his ancestry, his state, his living style. And that nation nowadays is called Hindu nation. We are a Hindu Rashtra. This Hindu word unites everybody. There are many synonyms for Hindu. Bharatiya means the same thing. Hindavi means the same thing. Indic means the same thing. Arya for Arya Samaj means the same thing. But this content, Sarvam Khaludam Brahmam Tattvamasi, and everything has arisen out of that. The difference we see is temporary. Unity is absolute and permanent. That content now comes to mind when you utter the word Hindu. And therefore, unite this society, organize this society, organize the Hindu society. Because during the course of history, so many things came. And in spite of our bigger identity being there, now there are 4 kinds of Hindus. One kind says, yes, we are Hindus and we are proud of it. Another kind says, yes, we are Hindus, but there are so many people, we are Hindus. What is there to be specially proud of? But we are Hindus and we will remain Hindus. Then there is third kind, which surreptitiously they come and they say, don't tell anybody, we are Hindus. We will not proclaim it because some loss will be incurred if you proclaim it. And there are those who have forgotten that they are Hindus. They were made to forget, and to make us forget that we are all one in this Hindu identity, efforts are still going on. But the fact is, the truth is, Hindustan, Hindu Rashtra hai. And Hindu is responsible for it. Or therefore, those who call themselves Hindu, organize them first. Like in examination, you solve easy questions first. So it is easy to make them understand. Then gradually we will touch others also. But actually, this Rashtriyata, it is not nation state. So what is it? It is Bharat Bhakti, it is our Purvaj Gaurav, and it is our Sanskriti, Bharatiya Sanskriti. On this basis of this truth, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmam, there are dharma values, chiefly designated 4 values: Satya, Karuna, Shuchita, Tapas. On that basis our dharma stand, and that dharma gives us a Sanskriti, which is transferred from generation to generation and is still continuing. Yah punya pravaha hamara. Like continuous stream of Ganges, it continues. That is our Sanskriti. To uphold that Sanskriti, to make it brighter, many have strived, many have given their lives, many have shed their blood, many have incurred their effort. All those are our icons, ancestral icons. We worship them. Commonly, Shivaji Maharaj was in Maharashtra. But because he was there, here in Tamil Nadu, there was Mr. Shivaji Ganesha. Tiruvalluvar is quoted everywhere. Lachit Badphukan, now he is known everywhere. And everywhere, Pratap, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, all those, they are respected everywhere. In spite of from where they were, what language those speak like. And therefore, these are the 3 basics of our nationality, our identity. So inculcate all those values in the society. We have to organize the society. Sangha doesn't want a very powerful organization within the society. Sangha wants to organize the whole society, including those who oppose us today. Because whatever is the thought, whatever, there are different views, different opinions, but still we are one. And we have to present ourselves to the world as one. So create this unity and quality of individuals, individual character and national character. He devised a method. That methodology is RSS. That methodology and nothing else is RSS. We call it Shakha. 1 hour simple exercise daily, intellectual, mental, physical. Very easy programs. Anyone can do it. Everywhere it can happen. If there is ground, well and good. If not, it can, even in the confines of 4 walls, we can have those programs. Forget everything else. Remember only our nation, our country, our society. Equip yourselves with the qualities of body and mind. Learn the art of taking along everybody with you and go along with everybody. The collective effort, teamwork that you have to learn. Through this training, the individuals are created. And it is very tedious and time-consuming work. So Sangha said, we will do only this thing, man-making work. Sangha will do this Vyakti Nirman and nothing else. After we organize whole of the society, we don't want to do anything else. Then all these things which are required to happen, how they will happen? Sangha will do nothing. Swayamsevaks will leave nothing. They will do everything. And this was taken as a jugglery of words in the initial days of Sangha. Nobody could understand this. But today we see that no field of social life is there wherein Swayamsevaks are not working. An atmosphere has been created in the country. People are becoming more and more aware of all these things. In 100 years, we have done this. We have awakened the Hindu. We have awakened that sense of being one nation, ancient nation, continuing nation, Hindu nation. And we want to organize whole of the society. The 100 years journey was not an easy journey. We passed through many perils. First, we were just neglected. We were nobody. Our thought was not accepted. People hold the Hindu society as a dying society. They held it like that. Nobody believed that by playing on the grounds you can serve thee. Though everybody knew the adage that Battle of Waterloo was won on the grounds of Harrow and Eton. Everybody knew that line, but nobody believed it. There was no financial support. Dr. Hedgewar himself earned nothing. There was no organ of our propaganda, no paper, no patrakar, nothing. Government, British government was always anti-Sangha. In spite of that, on the basis of the dedication of our Swayamsevaks, they took all kinds of pains. They bore with all kinds of oddities. But they surged ahead. Only that Shraddha was there. Yes, Hindustan is Hindu Rashtra, and one day Hindus will get organized and make their land and their society free of all the woes and prepare them, strengthen them to give the world the message. Every nation has a message to deliver. a mission to accomplish, a destiny to fulfill. That is what Vivekananda said. Our mission is to give dharma to world. Dharma is not worship. Dharma is that which unites everybody, uplifts, doesn't let disperse. That is dharma. Dharanat dharma ityahu. Dharmo dharayate praja. How to live in modern life on the basis of dharma? That we have to show by our example to the world. World needs it. World is expecting us to do that. That is our mission. And we have to prepare our society to deliver that mission, to deliver that message. There was opposition. No voluntary organization faced such type of opposition in the world. Everything was tried. Swayamsevaks were assaulted, they were murdered. Still some things happen. There is a continuous tirade, narrative against Sangha going on. But in spite of all this, on the strength of devotion of Swayamsevaks and their Drudha Sankalpam, Sangha forged ahead. And we have come to a stage wherein now the society everywhere, it has faith in us. All these 100 years, we had only one state to look to, the Hindu society. They had supported us. That is why we could come through all these tribulations successfully. But that is not enough. We have to organize this society, because to raise a nation, to make it strong, to enable it to deliver its duty in the world affairs is not a simple task. We have to prepare our nation, and for that we have to unite our society. Whole society has to do it. It cannot be given on contract. That is a bad habit we have acquired during these 1,000 years of aggression. Oh God, save us. You have promised, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati, tadatmanam srujamya. So now come and do your duty. What will I do? I will just see whether you do your duty or not. That type of mentality. Now gods never respond like this. Gods help those who help themselves. So then government should do this, government should do that. Now it is a task before us to avoid the society, make the society avoid this habit, to make them realize that even you cannot give contract to Sangha. It is our task together. Sangha can only enable the society to do this. So now Samaj is with us. There is Anukulata. In Anukulata, there are two things we have to look after. First, we have to remain unchanged. We have to remain what we are. And secondly, the followers should not remain followers. Followers should become fellows. And together the society has to thrive. That we have to make them understand. So, in coming 100 years, after these 100 years, in coming days, our Swayamsevaks are thinking how to do this. One thing is evident, we have to expand more. About 100,000 or more places we have reached. It is enough to create an atmosphere. But we have to create a habit, a practice. Individuals must have that habit, change in habit. They have to have those character the national character and individual character. They have to have the art of taking everybody together. Sanghatan Kaushalya Uite. So, we have to expand. We have to go, we have to have our presence in each 10,000 population, in cities as well as in rural area. Secondly, we have to make our outreach larger, go to every section, every strata of the society. Now we have reached every strata, but we have to become our, make our presence there meaningful. That task is there. Then we have to network the sajjans. In our country, we say that character is declining, this is happening. But I think my experience is different. Whatever bad is happening, yes, okay. But 40 times more good things are there. The balance is positive. We have to just apply our shoulder and increase this thing. And for that, we have a special outreach for local, social, apolitical leadership in every strata, every class of society. We want to create their network so that they work together separately. They continue what they are doing, good things they are doing, okay, they can continue in their own manner. But they have to be aware that there are many such sajjans in our country. We are not alone. And secondly, they have to just keep informed of each other's activity, and wherever they can become complementary, they should. So the network of Sajjana Shakti, the organized society, and the goal, Param Vaibhavam Netum Etat Swarashtra. If these three things we can put together in next 10 years, then all the woes we have faced in our past and we are facing now will disappear, and Bharat will be Vishwaguru. Nobody can prevent it. Society will do it. But then society has to understand these things. Sangha Swayam Sevaks are taking care of many things. Sangha is applying itself to only one thing, man making. Sangha Swayam Sevaks are working in all other fields. They are independent, they are separate, they are autonomous. We wish that they should become self-dependent. In initial stage, we have to help them. They are our Swayam Sevaks. But then they should not need that help. That is the way to grow. We wish that. Of course, being Swayam Sevaks, networking is there, rapport is there, we talk to each other. If we want, we seek help. If we observe something missing, we warn each other. But our organizations are separate, their working committees are separate, their treasury, they are separate, everything is separate. Even the Karya Paddhati is different. The way we run Shakha, we cannot run Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh. There are two altogether different things. And therefore, Swayam Sevaks working on all these fields to change the Vyavastha of the country, various organizations, including political, their Swayam Sevaks are working. Without going into that politics, etc., to bring about the change in society, creating the atmosphere of change. Works are going on, we call them Gatividhis. All these things, society should look to, should try to participate in that, and everybody will not come to Shakha. But everybody will be in that atmosphere of patriotism, honesty. Everybody work, everybody will live and be prepared to die for country. That sort of atmosphere has to be created so that this task of making Bharat Vishwaguru will be completed by everybody's help. We don't want it to be written in history that Sangha brought about some change. We want it to go in the credit of our society. Samaj ne kiya. That type of thing we want to have, and therefore we are coming with some outreach programs. Also, when Hindus like this, those who call themselves Hindus, they get organized like this, those who due to some selfish consideration are not ready, they will become ready. But those who have been lost by us during last 1,000 years, we have to get them back, and therefore we have to have a dialogue with them. That dialogue has already started on a smaller scale, very slowly, very cautiously, without leaving our basic insistences like Hindu Rashtra, and without lessening the strength of the organized Hindu society. We have to proceed with this dialogue. People who to various situations out of our control, we have lost them. We have to get them back. This is the future we envisage. And to prepare the society for that, we have to introduce them to 5 initiatives, which we call Pancha Parivartan. Those 5 initiatives are very simple actions that every individual and every family can undertake, can continue successfully in those. And these practices, they will bring change in their attitudes as well as their behaviors. To bring about social change, it is a very effective tool. So in that, first one is Samajik Samarasata, oneness of the society. No discrimination, caste discrimination, language discrimination, nothing. We are, as a society, we are one. We are having all these things. These are diversities. We celebrate them. We accept, respect them. And each has some pride in his language, in his state. Yes, it is very natural. And we accept and respect that. But the bigger identity, I am a speaker of some language. As long as castes are counted, I belong to some caste. I belong to some state. I have a particular worship which I perform daily. There are so many things. I accept those. They are my own. I am proud of that. But as a nation, as a Sanskriti, as a country, as a society, we are one. Not now, since ancient days. We forgot that oneness, and that caused our downfall. So we have to practice it. How? Each of us has an area in which we work. We roam, we go to house, we meet people, we go to market. We are resident of a particular area, generally work in that area. How many kinds of Hindu society are there? Sangha says Hindu is one. But people say Hindus means these castes, these languages, these worships. So how many kinds are there? In each kind, I will have my own friend. And I will have a family which is friend of my family. We will go visiting to each other. We will participate in different ceremonies. Sukh dukh mein bhag daud. All these things, like that happens in friends. This is a very easy thing, but we have to do it. Nothing else. It doesn't require anything. No capital. Just we have to go, and with love in mind, we have to embrace. Keep the friendship on, keep it growing. And if such persons are more in number and influential, then we can try one thing, at least a mandir, a water hole, and smashan should be open to all Hindus. There should be no discrimination in that. These two things, that constitutes first initiative. All these initiatives, Swayam Sevak first, they will start with themselves and their families. And then they will invite society to participate. That will start after the completion of these Shatabdi programs. Then second is Paryavaran, ecology. Discussions are going on, how to correct everything. Global warming and this and that. Start with your own family. Pani bachao, save water. Call your plumber and fix all the leakages. 15 minutes is the shower time, not more than that. You can save water. You can start with yourself. About policies, it will happen someday. But immediately, here and now, we can do this. Plastic hatao. At least single-use plastic, we should shun its use. How to dispose what is already accumulated, there are ways, there are methods. We should make it our practice to go into those methods. And ped lagao. Even in our own household, we can now grow the vegetables in earthen pots, in used tires, in various utensils. Many people do it. There are terrace gardens. So we can create greenery in and around our house and also participating in all the Vriksharopan programs. That we have to do. Third is Swadeshi. Swabodh, who we are. We have to be that. Rabindranath Tagore has said, before you educate the world, the Bharatvasis, you have to become what you are. So what we are, at least inside our household, beyond our front door, within our front door, we should have our own language. We should talk in our Matrubhasha. Every Bharatiya Bhasha is Rashtra Bhasha. Our Bhasha is also Rashtra Bhasha. We should know our language, our own language. Can children in our homes, they speak Tamil? Can they? We have to think. We have to also know the Bhasha which is in vogue where we live. If I live in Maharashtra, whatever language is my mother tongue, I will have to know some Marathi. It is also our language, Bharatiya Bhasha. And it is needed to have some Vyavahar Bhasha spoken. We can mingle with everybody, talk freely with everybody. It should be a Bharatiya Bhasha. Which one decide? But we can start with our Matru Bhasha in our own home. Inside our house, we should have our Bhasha, our Bhusha. Outside we have to wear various dresses. But inside at least we should have. In Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, fortunately, you are using your own Vesha. That is good habit. Keep it up. I need not describe it to you because you are already doing it. Bhasha, Bhusha, Bhajan, worship. Inside our household, we should have our own worship. Bhojan. Once in a while you go out, eat pizza, all right. Once in a while it is all right. But why each Sunday? You can have good meal. Our meals are famous in the whole world. It is our soft power. So our own food. Our home, when someone comes in, he should be able to recognize, oh, this is Hindu home. This is Bharatiya home. Otherwise, the mat that is there, welcome. Why not Swagatam? Or whatever you say in Tamil. In pillow cover, happy dreams. Is there any necessity of any other language inside our? We can have our signature in our own Matrubhasha. It is allowed everywhere, legally. It is correct. All these changes we have to bring. On the basis of Swa, Bhasha, Bhusha, Bhajan, Bhavan, Brahman, and Bhojan. They should be ours. Start with this. Everything else will happen automatically. And then there is observance of social discipline, deliverance of social duties, social consciousness. We do not live as individuals. We live as families. We do not live as families only. We live as our village. Our society lives. Then we live. So, there are rules, there are laws, there are different rules designated in the law books, all legal things. We should never transgress those. Red light, you should wait for it to become green. All these things should be observed. And there are unwritten rules. To bow before the elders is not legally necessary. If you don't do that, it is not legally a crime. But if you do that, you become a better human being. So there are traditions of such rules. Whatever is relevant to the present times, we should have it. These 5 initiatives will be the thrust of Swayamsevaks in coming days, after the Shatabdi Varsh. Because Sangha, if it becomes a big organization with a name and fame, we are not interested much in that. In the course of our work, it is acquired, we cannot shy away with it, that is another story. But we don't really want that. We want whole society to be organized. Society will, with individuals, with individual character and national character. And society which is bent upon to take Bharat to the peak of the glory. For that, Sangha is there. As I said, Sangha is not there to contest with anyone, not to oppose with anyone. Tera vaibhav amar rahe ma, hum din char rahe na rahe. That is our wish. And that wish can be realized only if whole society is organized. And if whole society needs to be organized, then that society must know facts about the organizer. Many institutions, individuals, etc., are doing their share in their own way. We have to network everybody. And so we have to dispel all these misunderstandings created by narrations. And therefore, I have put today before you certain facts about Sangha. I heard that about 45 questions. Most of them are already answered with this address. But anyway, I will give brief answers to those in the next session. But till that, Sangha programs, Sangha camps, Sangha Karyakartas, Sangha families, and see for first hand. I don't say believe me. I say this is so, you can come, you can experience, and if you find it good, you can join. Otherwise, if you can find it but don't want to join, oh, you can clap, very good, do it, keep it up like that. In your own way, if you are working for something better, please keep it. We will help you. Or if you have an idea, we will provide you with some help. In Bangalore they say, if you have a team, we have a team. And if you have a team, we have a team. That kind of cooperation can happen. Together we have to organize this society as a society with unity and quality. Because not only future of our country, not only our individual and family future, but future of the world depends on Bharat becoming Vishwaguru. And this task has been put on our shoulder. Destiny will wait, not forever. We have to fulfill it. And to do this, we have to prepare our society. Sangha work is preparing that society, making the men with capital M, which can face the future, which can fare well in the future, and which can take our country to the apex of glory and teach the world what it needs to be taught. Thank you very much.